All right. Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Cuyahoga County Council regular meeting for Tuesday, November the 10th, 2015. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Calling the roll, Ms. Brown? Here. Mr. Hairston?
Here.
Ms. Simon? Here. Mr. Greenspan? Here. Mr. Miller? Here. Mr. Germana?
Here.
Mr. Gallagher? Here. Mr. Schron?
Here.
Ms. Conwell?
Here.
Mr. Jones?
Here.
And Council President Brady.
Here.
There is a quorum.
Thank you. Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I told you didn't get it.
Under item 4, want to remind everybody what they know so well. Tomorrow's Veterans Day. I'd like to take a few moments to remember all those who have given their lives, or a big part of their lives, or a part of their body, and those who are out there today somewhere in the world on our behalf. Thank you. Well, we got our work done in our work session so early that we had a nice break. Is there any public comment related to the agenda?
Yes, Mr. President, Reverend Pinckney Butts.
Good evening.
I know you all have a little life to you. Amen. For Resolution 223, you're making some modifications in your relationship with Metro Health, their systems policy, and I'm asking you. Recently was doing some things at one hospital to find out that there are multiple communications where one hospital has full access to clients' records from another hospital. I disagree with that, because if a person is challenged in an area of their health and they want a second opinion, their opinion is biased already by the time they get to the next facility. Would you please look into that and correct that? Because if a person has concerns and they're not being addressed by one place and they need to go elsewhere, they need to have that option and an opportunity available. And also, I don't believe that people's privacy should be violated in that way as well. And I will come back later for other non-agenda items. Thank you.
Thank you. To move to, are there any other public comments?
No, Mr. President.
Okay. Under 6, approval of the minutes, I'd like to have a motion to approve the minutes as printed on the agenda, items 6A through 6E. Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it. The approval of the minutes are approved. Are there any announcements? I don't have an announcement from myself. Are there any announcements from the county executive this evening? I know we've...
Since I spoke earlier, I'll pass.
Okay.
Thank you.
I thought that was probably going to be the case. Number 9, legislation introduced into council, consideration of a resolution of council for first reading, adoption or suspension of the rules. Could I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of suspending the rules, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the rules are suspended. Clerk, please read the record. Item into the record.
Resolution number 2015-0223, approving the Metro Health Systems policies and procedures to participate in one or more joint purchasing associations for the purpose of acquiring supplies, equipment, and services provided through joint purchasing arrangements in order to achieve beneficial purchasing arrangements for the year 2016 in accordance with Ohio Revised Code, Section 339.05.
Move to adopt.
Discussion?
Chairman, this is something that by revised code section 339.05 that Metro Health needs to adopt each year and is sent to the council to approve. So instead of hearing it in committee, since it's such a routine, I said to go ahead and have it on first reading suspension.
All right, any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Resolution is adopted. Consideration of a resolution of council for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution number 2015-0224, adopting various changes to the Cuyahoga County non-bargaining classification plan.
And this will go to Human Resources. Consideration of a resolution of council for third reading adoption.
Resolution number 2015-0171, authorizing a casino revenue fund loan in the amount not to exceed $4 million to City of Euclid for the benefit of Phase 2 of the Waterfront Improvement Plan located in the City of Euclid.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Mr. President. So,
approve.
motion to approve. Well, we have a
Second.
substitute, so,
Right,
yeah.
all right, Councilwoman Simon.
So I just wanted to start by thanking my colleagues for working with me to have this important piece of legislation come before us today. It's the first time, as I've stated, that we're able to have casino revenue money going into a project outside a downtown zone district. And I think this is really important for the entire county, especially with our lake as being our greatest asset, to be able to really work that as an economic development tool and be able to transform the City of Euclid as well as the county and really invest in curbing urban sprawl, which has plagued us for several decades, with investments going out instead of in. But before we can move forward with voting on this, there's a substitute in front of everybody, which is simply a technical substitute, which simply changes two words, one word actually, from directing the Director of Development to authorizing.
And you want to make a motion to accept the substitute? And I'll
I move
second that.
for acceptance of the substitute.
Right, any discussion on the substitution? All those in favor of accepting the substitution say aye. Aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it, the substitute is adopted.
So
Discussion, Councilwoman.
just, I thank council and look forward to working with the administration on moving this forward.
Mr. Chair,
Councilman Miller.
I just want to congratulate Councilwoman Simon and commend her for her tenacity and diligence in bringing this very significant project forward, and hope all goes well. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Schron.
Thank you. When this originally was in the committee of the whole and it got voted out, I voted against it, not because of the propriety of the program or anything in regards to it. Having grown up and spent a lot of time in Euclid, I am very much in favor of the concepts behind it. I did vote on it not to come out, only because there were no rules and guidance and regulations put in place. But I have had conversations with the county executive council, conversations with the president of council, and I will be bringing forth the piece of legislation to actually build some structure in place going forward. With that, I will be supporting the Euclid project and being comfortable to grandfather that with the hopes I'll be able to convince my colleagues and the county council, the county executive, that structure is actually a good thing as we go forward in the future, as we spend these dollars for the hopefully next 20 or 30 years. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman. Any further discussion? Councilwoman Conway.
I'd just like to commend my colleague, Sonny Simon, as well, and I congratulate the City of Euclid, because I think this will bring a lot to their downtown development, and I look forward to walking on the beach.
Absolutely. Just like to echo my colleague's sentiments. This is a very, very great, good project. Further down where 155th Street is, where the Wildwood Park, Metro Parks are doing some renovations to that lakefront as well. The pier going up there, they're doing some renovations along the Euclid Beach areas, so this tie-ins well together. You can go from one end where Cleveland Euclid meets to the opposite end of Euclid. So this is a fantastic project, and I'm proud to be a co-sponsor. So Janine, please add as a co-sponsor. Thank you.
Please add Councilman Harrison's name. Anybody else?
Finally, Mr. President, if I can, is to say thank you to the City of Euclid's mayor, his development team, and helping bring this forward as well. And I look forward to working with you, and as my colleague said, seeing you on the beach.
Righty. All those in favor of adopting the resolution on its merits as substituted, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the resolution is adopted as substituted. We don't get to clap again, right? Inside thing. Legislation introduced by the executive. Consideration of a resolution for first reading.
Resolution number 2015-0225, approving the Metro Health System Year 2016 budget in accordance with Ohio Revised Code Section 339.06D, with the understanding that the allocation of county funds to the system will be made through adoption of the 2016-2017 biennial operating budget and capital improvements program for 2016.
Remember, of course, that Dr. Boutros presented the Metro Health 2016 budget to council during the committee of the whole budget hearings. This item will be moved to the November 24th council agenda for consideration of second reading. Consideration of resolutions for first reading adoption or suspension of rules. Have a motion to suspend the rules.
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of suspending the rules say aye. Aye. All those opposed, the rules are suspended.
Resolution number 2015-0226, appointing Ignacio J. Morales to serve as interim director of human resources from November 2nd, 2015 through February 29, 2016.
Second. Any discussion?
I did have one question.
Oh, all right.
As Director, as Mr. Morales moves to this department, he would be leaving the law department. Will there be any efforts to replace him? Is that needed?
Does anyone from the administration want to respond to the councilman on that issue?
At this point, he's becoming interim.
And will there be a filling of the vacancy in the law department as he?
Not at this point. Thank you.
We all know Mr. Morales very well. All those in favor of the resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Is Mr. Morales here? I guess this is maybe anticlimactic for him. Congratulations, Mr. Morales. Clerk, would you please read the next resolution?
Resolution number 2015-0227, amending the 2014-2015 biennial operating budget for 2015 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations, for appropriation transfers, and for cash transfers. Amending resolution number 2015-0217, dated October 27, 2015, to reconcile appropriations for 2015.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, I have a proposed substitute.
All right.
This substitute actually is to correct some technical items in the resolution as it was originally submitted. The amendments are on pages 5, 9, and 10. I believe they're highlighted in yellow in your document. They don't impact any of the requests, merely the project and object codes as to how they'll be recorded into the budget. And if I could add, I also supplied council with the questions and the answers received from the administration. I have no further comments on those, so I'll only be merely asking for a substitute based on the technical amendments requested by the administration. So I'll make a motion to substitute Resolution 2015-0227 as submitted as proposed substitute.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor of accepting the substitution, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. The substitution is adopted. Any further discussion? All those in favor of adopting the resolution on its merits as substituted, say aye. Aye. Ayes have it. Resolution is adopted as substituted. Consideration of resolutions for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution number 2015-0228, declaring that public convenience and welfare requires reconstruction of Tiedemann Road approaches to Interstate 480 in the city of Brooklyn. Total estimated project cost, $1,400,000. Finding that special assessments will neither be levied nor collected to pay for any part of the county's costs of said improvement. Authorizing the county executive to enter into an agreement of cooperation with said municipality in connection with said project.
All right, this will go to Public Works.
Resolution number 2015-0229, authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 11084 with Mount Pleasant Now Development Corporation for lease of office space for use by Division of Senior and Adult Services for the period October 1, 2000 through December 31, 2015, to extend the time period to December 31, 2020, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $2,168,430. Additionally, Mr. President, Councilwoman Conwell would like to be added as a sponsor.
Okay. We'll refer this to Public Works.
Resolution number 2015-0230, authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 10867 with the Near West Side Multi-Service Corporation, doing business as May Dugan Center, for lease of office space for use by Court of Common Pleas Adult Probation Department for the period August 1, 2010 through July 31, 2015, to extend the time period to July 31, 2020, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $174,820. Councilwoman Conwell would also like to be a sponsor on this.
Public Works as well.
Resolution number 2015-0231, authorizing a revenue-generating agreement with State of Ohio Attorney General for collection of delinquent debt owed to Cuyahoga County effective December 1, 2015.
And this will go to Finance and Budget.
Resolution number 2015-0232, authorizing a contract with Midwest Direct Presort Mailing Services Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $750,000 for electronic certified mail services for the period October 1, 2015 through September 30, 2018.
And this will go to Public Safety.
Resolution number 2015-0233, rescinding resolution number 2015-0050, dated April 14, 2015, which made a Cuyahoga County 911 Consolidation Shared Services Fund award to City of Beechwood on behalf of East Side Departments Group Enforcement in the amount not to exceed $1,968,000 for public safety answering point consolidation support for the period February 1, 2015 through January 31, 2016.
Also go to Public Safety.
Resolution number 2015-0234, authorizing revenue-generating agreement with City of Cleveland, Cleveland Municipal Court, in the amount not to exceed $1,922,185 for legal services for indigent persons for the period January 1, 2015 through December 31, 2015. Additionally, Councilwoman Conwell would like to be a sponsor of this legislation.
All right, this will go to Public Safety.
Resolution number 2015-0235, making an award on requisition number 33447 to Maximus Human Services Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $1,372,804.51 for the Work Experience Program for work required public assistance recipients for the period January 1, 2016 through December 31, 2016.
Go to Health and Human Services. Committee reports and consideration of resolutions for second reading.
Resolution number 2015-0210, authorizing the issuance and sale of county excise tax revenue bonds in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $65 million for the purpose of paying the costs of constructing, renovating, improving, or repairing sports facilities, and reimbursing the county for costs incurred by the county in the construction of sports facilities, and for the purpose of paying any capitalized interest on the bonds, funding any required reserve funds, and paying the costs of issuance in connection therewith, authorizing the preparation and use of a preliminary official statement, authorizing the preparation, execution, and use of an official statement, approving and authorizing the execution of a trust indenture and a continuing disclosure agreement, authorizing other actions related to the issuance of the bonds.
This item we move to the November 24th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution number 2015-0219, authorizing a casino revenue fund loan in the amount not to exceed $500,000 to City of Euclid for the benefit of the St. Clair Industrial Roadway Project located at St. Clair Avenue from East 222nd Street to Babbitt Road in the City of Euclid.
And this item will also move to the November 24th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption. I want to congratulate the mayor on finishing up his third term as councilman of Euclid, and it seemed to be finishing up on a high note.
President, can I add my name to that piece of legislation?
Councilwoman, your name is on it. It's on the next page. Resolution number 2015-0220, making an award on requisition number 33385 and authorizing an economic development fund loan to Jumpstart Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $2 million for administration of the Cuyahoga County Early Stage Loan Fund.
This will also move to the November 24th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution number 2015-0221, making an award on requisition number 33461 and authorizing an economic development fund loan to Jumpstart Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $2,500,000 for administration of the Cuyahoga County Innovation Match for Pre-Seed Capital Fund Program.
This will also be moved to the November 24th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption. Committee report and consideration of a resolution for second reading adoption under suspension of rules. Could I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of suspending the rules say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. The rules have been suspended.
Resolution number 2015-0222, making an award on requisition number 34252 to Educational Service Center of Cuyahoga County in the amount not to exceed $602,000 for fiscal agent services for Families and Schools Together, Bright Beginnings, and Parent Services programs in connection with the fiscal year 2016 Ohio Children's Trust Fund Grant Program for the period October 1, 2015 through September 30, 2016.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, this is was heard in committee and simply is as it states, it's a contract award to Educational Service Center to enable us to continue on with several programs relating to children and their families.
Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Consideration of resolutions for third reading adoption.
Resolution number 2015-0204, confirming the county executive's reappointment of Erica Anthony to serve on the Cuyahoga County Public Defender Commission for the term January 1, 2016 through December 31, 2019.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2015-0212, declaring the necessity of submitting to the electors of Cuyahoga County the question of a renewal levy of 4.8 mil Health and Human Services levy for the purpose of supplementing general fund appropriations for health and human or social services for a period of 8 years outside the 10 mil limitation in accordance with the provision of section 5705.191 of the Ohio Revised Code and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Been moved and seconded. This is, of course, just one more step in moving our renewal of our levy to the March 15th ballot. And I am particularly pleased to be in a position where I can say that I can support wholeheartedly this levy, given the outcome of the budget and its content. All those in favor of the resolution say aye.
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 The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2015-0214, authorizing a contract with United Way of Greater Cleveland in the amount not to exceed $1,095,450 for fiscal agent services for emergency food purchases for Cuyahoga County residents for the period January 1, 2016 through December 31, 2016.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion, Councilman?
And this contract allows member agencies in the Hunger Network to purchase food for residents in their community from the Greater Cleveland Food Bank. And I ask for my colleagues' support.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2015-0215, authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 1200-260 with Mental Health Services for Homeless Persons Incorporated, doing business as Frontline Service for transitional housing program services for the period June 1, 2012 through September 30, 2015, to extend the time period to September 30, 2016, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $1,208,240. Additionally, Councilwoman Conwell has requested to be a sponsor.
And move to adopt.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion, Councilman?
Yes, and this contract provides services to the North Point Transitional Housing Program that assists homeless men with gaining full-time employment and achieving permanent housing. And again, I ask for my colleagues' support.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Committee report and consideration of a resolution for third reading adoption.
Resolution number 2015-0196, authorizing a casino revenue fund loan in the amount not to exceed $2 million to Corning Place, Ohio, for the benefit of the Garfield Building Project located at 1965 East 6th Street, Cleveland. And Councilwoman Conwell has requested to be a sponsor.
Second. Councilman?
Yes, this is an exciting project in that it's taking what used to be storefront that was a drugstore, converting it back into its historical presence the way it was inside the building. There will be a first-class steakhouse that's going to be going in there. That will be one of the iconic restaurants, I believe, in downtown when they get finished with it. It will still retain the old bank lobby, so it'll have that real sizzle to it, and in the area of environmental, and for those folks watching what's going on in biking, there's also going to be a bicycle shop that's going to be part of that whole concept. So it will be nice to see all that. And the good news is that the storefront facade will all be rebuilt before the RNC. The restaurant will be up and running before the RNC. Not sure whether the bike, and we're going to push very hard to see whether they can get that done and get that in place too. So, and I urge everybody to support this.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Any miscellaneous committee reports?
Mr. President, Finance and Budgeting Committee will meet Monday, the 16th at 1 p.m. to hear the item referred to committee, and Mr. Miller will chair the committee in my absence.
Mr. Chairman, Public Works and Contracting will meet on November 18th, regular time, 10 o'clock.
Human Resources and Appointment and Equity will be the 17th, 10 a.m.
And the Health and Human Services Committee will meet Wednesday, November 18th at 1 p.m. to deal with the items referred today.
All right, so it's going to be a busy week next week for committees. The county building is closed tomorrow, but we'll be back at it in a couple of days.
May I ask the safety chair?
Yes.
He didn't. Safety chair, are you meeting next week?
I'll let you know.
Okay.
We're working on that.
Skip it if you can.
Any miscellaneous business for the committee? Any public comment unrelated to the agenda?
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. Satinder Puri.
Mr. Perry, welcome.
Good evening. Welcome Jimmy DeMora Syntax, product of a corrupt system in Cuyahoga County, Ohio, that works for the benefit of the rich and powerful. This is my 15th appearance. The passage of Issue 8 on November 3rd by a vote of 75 to 25% is not a triumph, but a disgrace to our community because it provides support for arts and culture in Cuyahoga County for another 10 years on the backs of cigarette smokers who for the most part tend to be poor, young, and uneducated. The estimated $1.6 million campaign waged by the proponents was based on deception. They kept on repeating that arts and culture works, but never explained on whose back it worked. The deceptive campaign was challenged by a senior citizen using $5 vote no on Syntax signs and called for fair funding of the arts where we all pay, not just taxing cigarette smokers. There were 98 demonstrations for a total of 339 hours spread over 4 months all over Cuyahoga County. There was no discussion on the issue of fairness at the council meeting of June 23rd, and the 10 members present voted yes to place the Syntax on the ballot. Stephen Litt, eminent art and architectural critic of the Plain Dealer, never reported one word I said at the council meeting, but covered all the 5 proponents, who for the most part represented the rich and powerful, creating the wrong impression that there was no opposition and causing irreparable damage to my campaign. No one from this council protested the egregious behavior of the reporter. The Plain Dealer's propaganda machine never recognized my campaign and kept on repeating ad infinitum that there was no organized or no visible and organized opposition to the Syntax. A lot of nonsense. My campaign was denied a seat at the table at the September 28th one-sided panel discussion on the Syntax held at the City Club. The CEO of City Club, the citadel of free speech, cannot explain, despite multiple emails and a certified letter, how the CEO concluded that there was no visible, organized opposition to the Syntax. Another piece of nonsense. There was tampering of the archived broadcast of the radio interview of October 10th at Case Western Reserve University. No shortage of corruption and dirty tricks in Cuyahoga County. Welcome Jimmy DeMora Syntax. To be continued. Mr. President, our Cavs are home today. Go Cavs. I'm submitting a document for the record. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Perry. Are there any other public comment unrelated to the agenda?
Yes, Reverend Pinckney Butts.
All right.
Good evening again. County Executive Budish, you and I are going to disagree on some of what I'm about to say because of our different faith stances. The Word of God says, "And they were offended in him. But Jesus said unto them, A prophet is not without honor, save in his own country and in his own house." And the reason I say that is because I am a prophetess. I'm a female prophet, a prophetess. And my mom, when I found myself in the drudgeries of life, begged me to come back home. But I was not safe at home. But because the part that we do agree on, Executive Budish, I honor my father and my mother that my days will be land in the land which the Lord thy God giveth me. I came back home. I won't discuss the way I came home, but I came back home. And my mom said, come back because I want you to address and face your opposition. And I told her I couldn't come because of the things that were already still in place fighting me for me to be able to come back home. And you experienced some of that, Councilwoman Conwell, at that community meeting, at my frustration with the Cleveland Chief of Police. Well, as you know, I am a presidential candidate for United States of America for 2016 for the election, and I'm still faced with these oppositions. I've been denied equal time under the rule law for media for my campaign, and I wanted to show you a black and white picture and also a color picture of the flyer that I've been generating. Because I'm still facing overt racism in my campaign, and all of the media is exposing and showing a white and a male process. And the reason I'm bringing this to you as county council members is because in 2004, my ballot was not counted in the general election, which means that the electoral process was not accurately counted. And that was a result of an interstate compact between Indiana and Ohio against me. And in 2008, my ballot was not counted in the general election, where I was a presidential candidate also, and my ballot did not get counted. When I inquired about it, Director Jane Platten, who I last known was working in the prosecutor's office, did not want to communicate with me to clear it up. And when I went to see her, she came out of her office screaming and yelling at me. And when I asked her who she was talking to, she called security on me to threaten me further. And I'm bringing this to your attention because I want this violence in the voting process to stop. And I'm going to respect your clock, Councilman Germain. I mean no disrespect. But it's very pertinent that you do know that every year that I run for president, and for the last few years that I've been voting, I've either disappeared, my ballot has disappeared, I've been beat up by law enforcement officers, my home has been invaded, and some other things. And I want you to look at that because as you're making budget decisions, my life does matter. And I ask you to please, thank you, and thank you for allowing me to go past your clock time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else?
Yes, the last speaker is Mr. Porter.
Good evening, Mr. Porter.
Good evening. My name is Al Porter, current president of Black on Black Crime Incorporated. I want to definitely thank the Creator for allowing me to be here to speak, as well as to thank you all for taking the time to listen. There are various, I will say, meetings where you are not allowed to speak, and it's very important when you can. I want to start out real quick by saying that I hope that you all realize that you do all definitely have a bully pulpit, which means you all can cause things to change, cause people's outlooks on certain things to go a whole lot further than you may even realize. I mean, I'm excited that we do have the major RNC the convention is coming in 2016. We have a way to be able to be seen nationwide, worldwide. And our region as a whole, the leadership, you know, this has a little bit to do with the 65 million that's being put out there. And somewhat, it's good to be able to promote your sports teams, but at the same time, I deal with a lot of people in different areas, and they say, wait a minute, the only way I see these games is I watch them on TV. I can't really go down there to be a part of everything. But yet you have everything from the syntax that it passed to now Cuyahoga County Council passing certain things for that. And I would challenge certain of members that if you're going to go ahead and do that, and this is the non-agenda part, that if some of you all think about doing things and actually leaning on team owners to come up with other ways to fulfill their obligation to the region, like maybe donating to certain causes, building up other infrastructures in the inner city to alleviate the fact that they don't have to pay their personal money on their sports facilities. That's something that they could be able to do, but sometimes it takes a strong suggestion. That's why I stand here to at least suggest that you all use the bully pulpit that you have, because nothing beats a strong suggestion to be able to do something right. I mean, there are a lot of people who have done the wrong things until they've been corrected, even students in school. And there are ways that you all can correct people who may not be thinking about giving a bigger input in our city. I mean, if you have Quicken Loans, that's a major company. If you have Pilot Flying J, that's a major company. Please lean on them. Thank you.
Thank you. This meeting is adjourned.